Hello, hello. Today we are here for part 4 of the energy and frequency of abundance. And today we're going to be working on gratitude. All right. So in the first video, I explained kind of where people go awry. Then we talk about havingness. We talked about abundance. And so now we're talking about gratitude. And if you haven't watched those earlier videos, I would really go ahead and suggest doing that because there's a bit of context from there that we're going to need for today. Right. Gratitude is like the quintessential abundance practice. Like if you've read any books about money, any books about manifestation, they're like, bitch, get a gratitude list. All right. And I want to talk about why this is, like, and kind of how it works. And then I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite ways to do gratitude. All right. So one, when we're practicing gratitude, is we're making a decision to focus our mind. So before you even take out your pen and your little journal, you're saying, all right, we're doing this. Now, what you're going to do with that is essentially you're starting to discipline the mind, and you're saying to your mind, hey, look for things that I feel grateful about, and then look for more things. So we're setting our mind to task to search out something, and then we're going to find other thoughts that are of that same frequency. Now, if you do a gratitude practice long enough, what's going to happen is that your focus on those quality, like the focus on what you have and that you feel grateful for, is going to change. Your brain is going to be thinking these thoughts until they create a neurochemical cocktail that your body's going to receive. Now, the feeling of gratitude feels vastly different from the feeling of scarcity. We went deep on that in the first video. And so when we create this experience of havingness, gratitude is essentially like the feeling of having and also being thankful, right? So it's having and thankful. So being thankful is what opens us up to more, right? Like you can have something, not be thankful for it, and never want it again. So gratitude is like essentially in more advanced work, we could work on like the frequency of gratification, but we're not doing that in this video. So gratitude is essentially, it's a a little combo. Okay, so we're choosing the thoughts, right? And then we feel the shift. And so you'll know that your gratitude practice is essentially done or working when you feel different. Now, depending on where you're starting from, that may take seconds. If you were already in a great mood and feeling good in your body, you might be able to do a gratitude practice and feel your state change in a minute. Now, if you're really having a tough time with money, with scarcity, if you're not your best day ever, you may have to practice 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, depending on where you're starting from. And I want to explain something here, that thoughts are kind of like taking a step energetically, right? We're going to take a step energetically. So if you're starting way the fuck over there in the depths of scarcity, you might have to think a whole lot of thoughts. But if you were here at neutral, you may only have to think 10 thoughts, 100 thoughts. It does, whatever. So I just want to point that out to you because sometimes people are like, I've been doing this and I don't feel any different. And it depends on where you're starting from, right? If you're walking from, Connecticut to Maine, that's still a real long ass way. But if you were coming from Florida to Maine, it's distance that you would never walk. But anyway, I don't know. That metaphor was weird. Let me give you I like these 3 practices of gratitude. I just want to tell you a gratitude practice that sucks. Don't bother. The vast and wide gratitude practice is a lip service. Like, I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my spouse. I'm grateful for my cats. You're very likely not going to get a state change doing that. You could probably do that for fucking forever and it doesn't really make a difference. What we want to do here is the first practice I'll teach you is to choose one thing you're grateful for and go deep, right? So, and this could be financially related. It could be about money, or it could just be about anything else. What we're looking for here is that energy of gratitude. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about money for you to cultivate more abundance in your life. So let's say you pick your spouse. Well, I'm grateful for my spouse because he's kind and he's beautiful and he fixes all the things and he's got a great voice and he carries the firewood, and you can go deep on it. So pick one person, one experience, one possession that you have and go deep on it. You could be grateful for your cell phone, grateful for your computer, grateful for your house, whatever, but just pick one thing. and go deep. And now you'll find that the more thoughts that you think that are in gratitude about this one thing, for most people, it's going to shift their state way faster than, again, like going vast and wide. The next flavor of a gratitude practice that I love and I think is the most fun, I call it bounce back gratitude. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to be grateful for another person and you're going to tell them. You can send them a text message, a little messenger note, a handwritten thank you note. Now, when somebody gets that message, so you're going to feel the gratitude. You're going to feel the gratitude when you're writing this cute little note to them. Then you're going to give it to them. Then they're going to receive that gratitude that you sent, and oftentimes they're going to send some back. So now look at that. One practice that we did now make somebody else's day better, which is also an act of abundance, and it's an act of giving. You're giving your energy to somebody else. It's going to make them feel good, and then it's going to come, most of the time it comes back to you. You don't do it because it comes back to you. You do it because it just, feels good. So now it's like that one energetic practice. Instead of just making my list, I'm going to make my list. I'm going to give it to somebody else and they're going to send something back to me. So that's one of my more faves because it takes the same amount of time, but now there's like, it's extra. Okay. Then the third flavor of gratitude, this does take a little bit more mental discipline in that you can be in a fully present in a moment. And you can just have present moment gratitude. So it's just like I'm grateful that I feel comfortable in this chair. I'm grateful that the breeze is blowing. I mean, I'm inside, but the breeze is blowing. I can hear the birds singing and I can just be in this moment and really present in this moment and really grateful, be really consuming the moment and enjoying it and having gratitude for it. Okay, so in the first practice, we're just practicing the mental discipline. In the second practice, we're practicing the mental discipline along with an act of abundance. And in the third, we're practicing the gratitude, that mental discipline, and we're practicing the presence, the power that's in presence, right? The power of now. So those are 3 ways to practice gratitude that I find to be a little bit more energetically potent than just making a dusty old gratitude list. All right. So in the next and final video, we're going to be talking about the law of increase and decrease and appreciation. And so this is a little bit more advanced. So I will see you in the next one.